Futures and didn't do much. Futures didn't actually do much. Yesterday, I was looking at this chart in the evening. Uh, Futures didn't do much. Futures are kind of pinned below this 100 moving average, and now they're hitting their super trend. Most likely, it will bounce from here. Will try to push back into this number. Probably it will try and go to its mean or this 100 moving average, 4200. Probably the test of 4200 and fail again. That's the thing. I think most likely that's what's going to happen. So to the upside, not charting better than 4200. And if crosses 4200, then we'll see there. Probably if it crosses 4200, then 4232 is what I'll be watching. Downside, there is quite a bit of downside. I mean, Google screwed up big time. So if had Google not been, what it did, and also Boeing screwed up for whatever reason. Google and Boeing, both of them. So Microsoft by itself, yeah, it makes a huge difference. But Microsoft is a totally different kind of company. It's run very efficiently. So it's a different deal altogether. Google should not have been doing what it is doing, but it is what it is, and that would foreshadow something like a Facebook because of the nature of the business, digital ad revenue. And Google in fact has more avenues to uh, uh, more avenues to collect revenue or more pricing power than Facebook. But Facebook is Facebook. Uh, the thing with Facebook is they have a captive audience, if you will, not audience, but captive spenders. Every local business or every small business is on Facebook, and they do spend their ad on either directly on Facebook or through Instagram. So they have that captive, revenue generating customers. The whole Meta thing that hasn't kicked in yet, that is not a proven platform. So I don't believe that people are willing to bet on that just as of yet. So I am bearish on Meta platforms. Okay, so the upside, 4300 is pretty much where I am. Beyond that, I am not really plotting anything. But if it clears 42, 4300, 43, no, nope, 42, yeah, I'm not really plotting anything. What am I doing? 4200, 4260. Yeah, 4260 is my good to have, or 4250 is my good to have to the upside. But as of now, the base case is 4200. Beyond 4200, we'll reassess the situation, and good to have is 4250. And if it passes that, we will see what happens after that. That's for the future side of things. Let's jump into the SPX uh, in Windows.
Come on, Microsoft, you can't push.
SPY tried to push up, came right back in. Simply, there's not enough juice. There's a whole lot of negative sentiment in the market. How do you gauge sentiment? Look at Tesla. That is a very good indicator of sentiment for the markets. Wow, something is pushing down. Apple is pushing down.
Is it?
Boeing is pushing down. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Microsoft is the only thing that is holding up. Otherwise, every single thing is pushing down. Okay, so what must-
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Uh,
so this is the state of things where they are 41, 441759. We were looking for a push into 416 actually for SPY, and that thing actually pushed down below 416 last evening after the earnings, and the 413 happened for a SPY. 413 print came in. It did not break into 410s yet, but that print came in. So pretty much it's trying to resolve its 1 hour. So looking for a bit of a push into probably 418 at the open, 418.11. And if the push continues, 420 is where I am at. That would be my base case. 420, yeah, 420.34 is my base case to the upside, and a good to have is 422.18 for SPY. We will see what happens there. Then I think if everything goes well to the upside, 426.97 is where I'm sitting. I'm not really plotting that right now. The mean I'm looking at is 422 for SPY. And on the SPX side of things, if the market were to open now, it is trading exactly where it closed last evening, about 417 or something around that number, 418, 417. It should be trading around the same number. And again, the push into right about here, 42.16 is my base case to the upside. Uh, well, let's see. 42, yeah, 4200 is my base case to the upside. A good 25 points push, perhaps. And then if that clears, we're looking for a push into 42.14. As of now, not plotting anything beyond that to the upside because the sentiment is pretty soured. And good to have would be 42.55. Or on these, not really looking for 42. 42.50 to 42.60 range is my good to have to the upside. Once we clear that, after that we'll plot to the upside, further upside. If not, we'll just let it go from there.
And the downside is SPX going to head to the monthly mean at 4140-ish, you think, today?
Let's
Because I
see,
think that's inbound.
let's see. The chart is super slow.
I think it has to do that prior to running at all.
Sorry, Dom?
I said I think
Figure
it has to
anything.
test that monthly mean before it'll have any upside,
Yeah, that's what I think too.
especially with Apple taking pre-market. Microsoft probably will follow. Hopefully not.
Wow, Apple just fucking fired down. Jesus. What the
There's
fuck
nothing
is
on the
going
uh, daily as well.
on? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, the monthly mean is the next stop, Darth, for SPX. It's the only level we could find, or I could find anyways.
So it bounced off of this 4160 number last time as well. Last time two times, and 4160 should be a good number to watch for a bounce. That's my base case to the downside, 4160. Then if that breaks, then we have 4118 to 4120 to watch. That those are the lows from February. That's when the market really pushed down. So yeah, most likely those lows will be tested, 41.11. So 4100 to the downside is a good to have. So 4160 is what my base case to the downside. I'll look for a bounce there, probably ephemeral. If it starts to push down, especially if Apple starts to push down. So this would be an ephemeral bounce, then probably a push into 4120. After that, let's look at the monthly. Yeah, just about 4130. So 4120 to 4130 area is pretty critical. If that breaks, then most likely 4100 should act as some really nice support. 4100. If that breaks, then we are looking for a push into 3974. And the theory suggests that once it enters the price, once it enters this Bollinger Band, inner Bollinger Band, the chances of it hitting the mean are pretty exponential, which looks like it will do. 4138. That breaks, 4100 is the next one. Should that break, we are looking at a push into 3976. So a good 100 points from where we are right now. That would be carnage. And the way the Fed is going, most likely it will break there as well, and we will finally get the price that we were looking for since the beginning of the year, 37.23. Most likely that's where it is headed. But for now, not really plotting that. For now, the target is to the downside, 41.32 or 41.30. That's after it breaks the 41.60 level, then looking for a 41.30 level. If that breaks, 4100 is what we are looking for. Currently, not plotting anything below that. So how would that translate to SPY? I believe a 412, then 409, 410. Not plotting anything below that as of where things stand. But if it should push down, 396 is where it should go for SPY. Not really plotting that as of now. Wow, did not think that that would happen. But technicals are technicals. This is where it is. We were looking for this push down, but and if the indicators cross here, if the 8 below 5 happens on the monthly, then yeah, there's a good chance of it starting to push down here. And I don't know how the fuck did we miss out on this 8 below 21 crossover here. I don't know how we missed out on that. We look at charts every single day. The 8 below 21 happened here, and for some reason we missed out on that. I don't know. I'm acting like a stupid dumb fuck here. But yeah, on the daily it crossed here, and even on the weekly it crossed, and I kind of missed that one as well. So yeah, I think the reason I missed out on that is because I think my bias, not even bias, the seasonality that says that April would be a positive month. From perhaps that was the reason I overlooked those conditions. But we are towards the end of April, and there's no freaking way that it's gonna go positive now. I don't believe so, unless something miraculous happen and this whole thing reverses into a green candle and pushes and closes about what 46. I don't believe that's going to happen, but let's see. Bias is totally to the downside, but I don't act on my bias. This is the chart where I operate on, the 1 hour chart. This is my bread and butter. This is the chart I operate on. And it seems like clearly to the downside. If it pushes back to the upside, I will go back into my 15 5-minute charts and take positions accordingly. And yeah, so that's the thing with SPY. And let's go into and you go over Tesla. Yeah. Let's go back into the window change that. All right, let's go back into Microsoft. So this is one of the better ones. I'm in equity. I want to be exiting. I should have been exiting about here, but for some reason I held on to this trade. I hope it doesn't go against me. And again, hope is not a strategy. I should have exited it. The reason I did not exit is because I am holding covered calls here. So if I don't want to put on another position just to see that covered calls will get called away or not. So that's the reason I'm just holding on to that. So best case scenario, what I would do is probably I'll close the position. I'll close the covered calls. Covered calls, the IV crush should have given me at least 50% on those covered calls. So I should be able to close those. And let's push into VIX. VIX is coming down. VIX has come down considerably, 4.5 points on VIX. And my expectation from VIX is to come back down into this number, 29.20. So should that happen? And the other thing that I'm watching is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is pushing, so that is indicating a risk on environment for now. And 1 hour chart is still overbought for a VIX. So let's see if we can get a push down into this number here, into the mean. That is about 30.25. And should that break below there, I'm expecting a push into this number 28.50. 2840, 2850. Not too much to ask out of VIX at this point. It bounced yesterday at this exact point, and I'm expecting it to come back down into that point again. So let's see how that plays out. For now, VIX looks like that the average is coming down, and let's see if the average continues to come down here. And I believe that the average should start to perk down here. And I am very reluctant to put on a trade right at the open. I would want to wait today, not like yesterday. It was a clear shot and I took it. Today, probably, I would wait for VIX to tell me which direction it is, and probably I'll be a little more cautious today uh, with all of that indecision in the markets, either to the upside, downside. One company reporting, blowout numbers, another one not so much. Both are bellwethers, whatnot. So I'm not clear on what trade to put on as of now. So probably I'll hold off on putting on trades for the first 30 minutes. I'll be watching the markets. So expecting this to come down into this number here, 31, but I'll be operating solely based on VIX today. Uh, and we're also looking at this number, US 10-year. And yesterday we were looking for a push down on US 10-year. We got that. In fact, we were looking for a nice comeback into 2.6 or something like that. And I believe we got that. Not really. Okay. So this line is acting as pretty decent resistance here. And most likely, I think it should bounce given the conditions, probably back into 2.76. But there is no clear indication as to what the markets want to do right as of now. As of now, probably as the market opens, people will rush into whichever way they want to rush in. Then we can probably grab the direction of the market and start to push into that direction. Still expecting this thing to come back, a little bit more down 10-year, come down into 2.69 or something. Let's reassess the situation there. Most likely a hit of this number and probably start to go back up. Let's see how that plays out. Tesla. Yesterday was a mistake not trading Tesla, and I believe Tesla will come back into this number 859 or something today. Market sentiment is as is pretty soured. So Tesla, I think the push down on Tesla is because Elon Musk. There's a thought process that Elon Musk will start to sell Tesla shares in order for him to be able to finance the Twitter deal. I don't believe so. It I don't think that is that's how I don't believe that's how the deal would be structured. But most likely, this gentleman has to put up some collateral or whatnot. If I don't believe he needs to, but most likely that's a route he would take. I believe there are a lot of financiers that want to finance him, so he doesn't need to put up a whole lot of his own, stock in Tesla. Might be collateral or whatnot, and that's pretty much the reason that thing is selling off. And this is where I believe it should go 860, and if that breaks 850 is neck for Tesla. I'm not looking for anything below that as of today, as of now. So let's see how that goes. 850, yeah, 850 is where I'm at to the downside, and if that breaks, we're looking for 770. I don't believe it's going to go below that, below the monthly mean. It has been acting as pretty decent support throughout. It hit that here, it hit that here, and started to push back up. So I'll be keeping a clean watch on all these data points. But as of now, if it pushes down 860, then probably into 850, not plotting anything below than that. I have sold puts 750 and 700 in a pretty decent position there. So last time it came down below, we were able to take advantage of this last time. Let's see if it can do the same thing around this time around, and it will come back into that number. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but if Amazon fucks up, then yeah, the 700 is pretty much sitting there, and Amazon is tomorrow. Okay. Uh, Getting oversold here, so probably a breather, and simply like that, and most likely. So to the upside, if it clears here 888, then we could push into 913, 913 to 915 here, and that would be my base case to the upside 915. If it clears here around 880 to 890, if it clears here, then I'm looking for a push into 915. A good to have would be 935 and not plotting anything beyond that to the upside. The downside we did plot uh, to the base case to the downside is 860. A good to have would be 850. Not really plotting anything below that as of now for Tesla. Okay, and let's see what else we got. Apple. This thing is this is where it is headed. Apple, in fact, if it had not already hit that number, market, I can't see it here, but if it did actually hit it, then this is a good number to bounce 154.66. I'll be probably looking to take a position there for a bounce, and not really plotting anything below that as of now. But no, things might change really drastically because 8 below 21 is about to happen on the weekly side of things. Last time it came close and bounced off of this Fibonacci average here, but this time around seems like there is no bounce coming in. If this 8 below 21 happens, then we're looking for a pretty decent push down, most likely to 152 and probably below that. Okay, let's see, what are we looking at? The mean is sitting at 142. So yeah, there's a pretty decent downside for Apple, and if Apple pushes into 140s, yeah, the market might not take it that well, and then it will be a put season. 152 breaks, then we are pushing into 142. All right, so let's go into daily. Based on the daily, I think there is still a bit of a downside, but I think if it starts to come back up, 159 is where I'm sitting to the upside. My base case to the upside would be, good to have would be 159, but at some point in time, it has to come back and test this number, 159, the 200 moving average. And let's quickly run into getting oversold. So probably expecting a push back into 157 and a good push into 158. So my let's go back here. My base case today to the upside would be 156.43. A good to have would be 157.80. This is how I operate, and beyond that, if it pushes, the mean is sitting at 158.90. This is how I want to operate Apple today. Not really looking to not really looking to capture this whole move in one candle or in one push. This pattern will keep repeating today. Pushes up and hits the 5.8 and starts to push back down. So that's the pattern that I think it would observe today. And a good to have would be the mean on the 1 hour. If the mean comes down, obviously that target would change. And if the technicals come down, the target would keep changing. As of now, 156.50 is to the upside. Should that clear, a good to have would be 157.80, and the mean is sitting at 158.90. Not plotting anything beyond that, but if the market takes off for whatever reason, 160 is where I'm sitting at, not plotting anything beyond that. Apple has earnings tomorrow, I believe, 28. Yeah, Apple has earnings tomorrow. So yeah, let's see how that works out. NVDA. Let's see, NVIDIA. NVIDIA got screwed. This is basically growth scare. And NVIDIA has to come back into its moving average here. If it hadn't already hit the number, markets, but it has to come back into this number 180.73. So I look for a bounce here, and if it hits this number, then I'm looking for a run up into the earnings. If it hits 180, which most likely it will, then I am looking for a run up into the earnings. Earnings are pretty, yeah, 25, 28 days away, but still, if it comes down into this number, it needs to, I think it will run up into the earnings. We will keep an close eye on what NVIDIA does. And on the monthly, yeah, 177. This is pretty much sitting there. This will bounce around these numbers, 176 to what was the other number? 180 to 176 range. So if you are somebody who is into passive, you can look for 170, that number 175, whatever that number is, and between 180 to 177 or 173, I guess. So whatever that number is on the monthly, look for that number, and you could sell puts, collect the premium, and if it comes down there, take a position this week. I'm expecting this to uh, at least come back into 180. If it pushes down, I'm expecting it to come back into 180 and close there, 180, 181. But don't be selling this strike. Just here, don't be selling this strike, because if Apple breaks, and Apple and Amazon are reporting tomorrow, if they break, then we are looking for a push, probably deeper push down on Nasdaq. So let's see how that works out. All right, ladies and gents, I believe 2 minutes to the open, and good luck.